Donc, je suis PDG. Donc, je suis PDG d'un groupe d'entreprises, dont l'entreprise Everest Consulting Limited, qui est spécialisée dans le consulting international. Et je travaille beaucoup plus, ça fait une dizaine d'années, avec l'Afrique pour la mise en relation d'affaires, développement de projets, financement de projets avec des fonds d'investissement internationaux. Là, je viens de terminer un grand projet de construction de 2 grands hôpitaux en Ouganda, en les finançant à hauteur de 126 millions de dollars à travers un fonds d'investissement américain. Et donc, dans le cadre de mes activités, j'ai un contrat de partenariat avec notre chère amie Gloire et Madame très récemment. Morel, c'est un ami, il est PDG d'une grande entreprise qui s'appelle Gaiasoft, installée en Grande-Bretagne, dont le siège est en Grande-Bretagne, mais il a des filiales un peu partout. Donc, notre cher ami, M. Gloire, m'a sollicité pour 2 projets. Le premier projet, c'est tout ce qui est digitalisation, numérisation de toutes les institutions du pays au niveau de la RDC. Deuxième projet, c'est la mise en place des documents biométriques. Bon, les plus habituels, c'est la carte d'identité, le permis, les cartes d'assurance et j'en passe. Donc, à ce sujet, j'ai consulté notre cher ami, le président directeur général de Gaiasoft, que je connais depuis un peu plus de 7 ans. On a déjà travaillé dans beaucoup de projets ensemble. Et pour moi, je l'ai recommandé parce que c'est l'un des meilleurs dans son secteur pour les 2 projets. Donc, il a proposé d'intervenir avec Gaiasoft Grande-Bretagne pour tout ce qui est digitalisation et numérisation. Il a fait ça déjà dans plusieurs pays. Il vous a déjà envoyé des présentations dans ce sens, des explications. Puis, avec tout ce qui est documents biométriques, il va solliciter Gaiasoft Inde, qui sont spécialisés dans ça, pour éventuellement discuter avec vous. Si les choses avancent bien, il va vous proposer éventuellement un projet clé en main. C'est-à-dire, vous n'avez pas à solliciter par la suite, que ce soit pour les documents, que ce soit pour les machines, la mise en place et tout ça. Voilà. Je ne sais pas si notre cher ami Morel, parce qu'il est anglais, je ne sais pas s'il est en train de nous comprendre. Il va falloir un petit peu expliquer tout ça en anglais. Alors, dites-moi, Morel.
J'ai bien compris tout ça, mais
très bien.
mon vocabulaire…
Donc, pardon, si vous avez compris, je pense qu'il va falloir vous laisser la parole, vous présenter à votre tour. À vous, s'il vous plaît, cher ami.
Non, je peux partager les écrans, mais mon français n'est pas très fort maintenant. Mais on a partagé les écrans, alors je peux partage maintenant, si vous voulez.
Attendez, s'il vous plaît, Morel.
Ouais.
Je ne sais pas si son Excellence Dominique plus Madame Mégloire comprennent l'anglais. Peut-être qu'il va falloir que vous expliquiez tout ça déjà en anglais, pourquoi pas.
Pour moi, ça ne pose pas de problème.
Excellence, est-ce que c'est bon pour
vous pouvez, non, on peut évoluer en anglais, il n'y a pas de problème.
So Morel, you can go ahead. Just explain everything in English. Everyone is listening and understand English. Go ahead and present your company, your profile of the company first, and talk about the 2 projects, if you don't mind. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So the 2 projects we discussed were one, digitization, and Gaiasoft has just give you a background. The oldest group company is Gaiasoft IP. It holds patents in USA, India, China, on security, on profiling of individuals, and it's 1989 was when it was founded. Since the 1990s, Gaiasoft companies have worked with multinational companies, for example, General Electric, Philips, Unilever, SmithKline Beecham. Since 1998, Gaiasoft companies have worked in Africa, parastatals in South Africa, for example, 120 parastatals of the South African government taking their reporting. Est-ce que je partage mon écran? Ça marche?
Oui, un instant.
Ça marche de faire ça?
Oui, c'est possible. Je vais vous donner accès.
D'accord, parce que je parle avec mes mains. J'essaie de parler en anglais maintenant. So, for example, in South Africa,
Oh, you can.
120. Shall I show my screen or hide my screen?
Yeah, you can share your screen. I gave you permission.
Great. Okay, merci. Oh, I mean my video. So, and a few examples from GaiaSoft history: 120 parastatals, 4% of South Africa's economy, doing the aggregation, numeric aggregation, digital aggregation. 120 parastatals used to take weeks, real time. Example, City of Joburg, we ran their management information system, their M&E system, monitoring evaluation system, for 10 years. And it helped them to come together and work together as a city. Another example, for the UK government, we've reported 11 billion, that's 11,000 million, $11 billion of spending of climate and climate change related projects across 134 countries. When we started, the UK government was taking 3 months to prepare the information. Within 100 days, it was real time. The data collected globally and reported in London and globally on 134 countries. So we have a deep experience in understanding climate adaptation, climate mitigation, and the reporting of forestry. Now, I mention that because RDC is sitting on a gold mine of carbon credits, if they can be reported. So some of your numeric ideas, some of your digitization objectives could be met through carbon credits. So, for example, we have a joint venture in India, and we are building for India. India has 1.4 billion population. I think it's a big population. And the 900 million population is rural, is agricultural. And yet India is suffering from climate change, and they need to turn their land green again to cool it down. So RDC is sitting on one of the world's great forests, and there is opportunity to pay for numeric digitization through carbon credits. So one of GaiaSoft's areas of expertise is we could help to report those carbon credits digitally, and in the process, pay for the distribution of funds. So in India, the project, am I going too fast? Ça marche? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my French is rusty. My father was.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Pardon. So in India, the objective is to pay farmers, every farmer, to turn their land.
But finally, you didn't share the screen. You didn't share the screen.
Well, I'll share the screen. Just a second. Host disable. I've got two screens. One is on my PC and one is on my. Can you enable this second screen? I have two screens, one for Morale Foreman and one with my photo. Do you see there's a second screen?
Not yet.
Right. Let me. See here. Do you see me?
Yeah,
Pardon. So can I share the second screen now?
Yeah, go ahead.
So is it no? It says host disabled participants.
Then I have to give permission to the second profile.
Please, thank you. So I'm going to show you some pictures from South America. But
Yeah, I cannot share because the second profile is not connected with the micro.
oh dear. Okay. Is this okay? Is this okay? Can you hear me?
Yes, so let me try again.
Un moment, pardon.
I don't know why.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Super.
wait a minute.
It's still not allowing me. I don't understand.
Yeah, what you can do, because now you are the host, so can you give me back the host profile, or you give to yourself the second profile authorization? You can put your second profile as host, then you can share.
Which one is the host? Sorry.
So you can put Crédit Assure Consulting as host.
There you go.
Okay.
So can you hear my second screen?
Yes, then I will put your second screen as host. After that, you can.
Merci, pardon.
Okay.
Okay. So, good. So this is an example. They're just screens. I'm not going to go through the detailed presentation, but I'm just pointing out that there is an opportunity. Mustafa asked me, how can we fund our numeric plans? And one way to fund them would be to sell our carbon credits. And how do we fund our digitization of citizen identifier? Well, the project we're working on in India will give millions of rural farmers and forest dwellers the ability to receive payments for carbon credits. Is that clear? So I'm giving this as an example. Mustafa asked me, how can we fund this? And the answer is we could fund it with carbon credits. So this is an app, a very simple app. There is the area of the Amazon, of Brazil Amazon, drilled down into a particular place, and that polygon is creating carbon credits. And those carbon credits can be sold on the international market, and the rewards can go to farmers. And the investment and payment documents can be stored on the system, and so that farmers can be paid by a digital payment platform for the carbon credits. Is that clear? It is very brief. I can do this much more detailed later, because I know what we want is digitization of national ID. So the suggestion is citizen ID, payment platforms, and a système de prestation nationale can be paid for by digitizing our carbon credits. So that's my suggestion. Now I have presentations in English and French. Would you prefer me to put up? I think I'll put up, so the first one that's of importance is, are you seeing my DRC biometric digital identity?
No. Nothing on the screen.
No.
No, I'm sorry. I thought I was showing. I'm sorry. Share.
We need also to hear something about the national delivery system, please, also.
Okay, so here's the biometric digital identity. This is based on our experience in India. So India, we have if you look on the right-hand side, we have a population of 1.3 billion. That's as many. Most of my work has been in Africa for the last 25 years. And I'm proud father of an African daughter in Kenya who tries to teach me Swahili, Pole sana. We have in India a 1.3 billion population. Our platform in India is used already by 51 million people, and it's used for payments between individuals. It's called neo-banking. Every citizen becomes like a bank ATM, telemachine, a place to extract, to pull money. It's a bit like we have in Kenya, we have M-Pesa, except that every citizen can be a distributor of funds, and the government can use that platform to make payments to citizens. With our India platform, we have 51 million users already, and we've transacted, I think, $10 billion of transactions. And most of those, the average income of the users of that platform per year is less than $1,000. So speaking from my perspective, that one of my homes is in Kenya, it's perfect for us because we can do something like M-Pesa, except we can use it as a national ID system. And there's lots of intelligence in the identification and the verification of identity. So just walking through this, taking DRC, we have, I believe, about 102 million population. We're working from our experience, Gaiasoft's joint venture in India, which is the one where we're doing the digitization of the carbon credits and also the neo-banking. We're using this based on the Aadhaar Indian system, where we have biometric identify. Well, this is old numbers, 51 million unique customers on our platform. It's the foundation for all of India's e-government. So India has the best e-government in the world, or some of the best. Maybe Singapore has some great things, but India has it at scale. So it's a foundation for everything. If I read down numérique plan, it's a foundation that can support all of those technically that stack of functionality. It includes, can be used for is used in India for driver's license, national ID, insurance, and payments interface. So our platform we can provide for RDC does that. Just a review of India, we have digital document storage, verification and authentication, savings and convenience. So I mention those because we're looking at your digitization plans. So citizens save, this is the promise of e-government, citizens save considerable time and effort by accessing their documents online, eliminating thereby the need to carry physical documents for various transactions. So it's not necessary to have a physical driver's license if you've got extremely strong digital identity and mobile phone-based identity, which our system has. So our offices, through our joint venture, we have offices in the United Kingdom, in Africa. We have offices in South America and also in North America, Canada. Would you like me to walk through these?
Maybe more explanation about the national delivery system, please, more.
Okay, no problem. I will switch.
Thank you.
That. Sorry. It's funny, I've got all this set up for English, for French. I'm just trying to move to English because I will understand it better in English. Ah, there we go. Okay.
Okay.
In English. So you have all these documents in French, if that's helpful. So a national delivery system is based on our work on 25 years in Africa. For example, at the moment, we have a team digitizing the national M&E system for Ghana. We have done work with World Bank in Kenya, where World Bank, Kenya, we have a devolved system, which is fantastic. You remember that we had very dangerous times around the election of 2007, 2008, 2007. And Kofi Annan came in and helped us in Kenya to set up a system where the subnational governments of Kenya are called the counties, and each of them have their own budget. And the mayors of the devolved governments are meant to use their power and their money to deliver for Mwananchi, the citizen of Kenya. So this is based on that experience and is scalable to the size of India. It works, so we've done this in Kenya for a 14 million population region. It's configured to be able to scale to a 47 million population in Kenya. It's also being developed in progress for Ghana, which is about 42 million population, I think. Now in Ghana, we have national level. So this is where the national government wishes to know what's happening in all the cities or all of the départements. We then have regional level. In Ghana, we have 16. In Kenya, we have 6. And then in Ghana, we have 250 districts. Across those 250 districts, there are about, we estimate, 40,000 projects. So our system is designed to report across 40,000 projects in real time. Now, if you've worked with World Bank funding, World Bank, if we want investment to come into RDC, they will say you need a national M&E system, national monitoring evaluation system, and you need a system for public investment management. So that's what that kind of gets us to a different level with the World Bank's interest in or ability to raise funding for us. Our platform, our national delivery system does both. So timely, accurate information for efficient and effective service delivery. Okay. So the basic idea here is if we want a stable country and if we want to build a modern economy, we want the money that goes to the local governments or to the national government. We want to understand what citizens need. We want to give them what they want and give them a voice to say what they want. So our national delivery system allows the citizen to go on their mobile phone and say, so this contractor had a budget. I can give real examples like for this. I'll give an example. A contractor in Kenya, Siaya County, paid to build 7 dams on World Bank climate smart agriculture. They spent all the money, but only 2 dams are working. So we set up with World Bank funding a delivery unit, and the delivery unit says, wait a second, of all the projects of this governor for this particular county of Kenya, these are the 12 projects that are most important to citizens. These are the projects that are going to get me re-elected at the next election. These are the projects that are going to get me promoted national government from county government. And yet this one is only delivering 23% of what was intended, and yet it's been paid in total. What's the problem? And we built a very simple set of questions. So this is based on the work of Tony Blair with the UK government. First question is, what is important to the citizen and to the politician? Building 7 dams to stop floods, to get year-round agriculture and water for the citizens, and to get water to grow crops and have food security. Very important project. First question is what's important? That's important. Second question is, what was intended for this project? Obviously, it was 7 dams. What's the reality? 2 dams. And then the question for the officer responsible, the fonctionnaire responsible is, what's the difference? 5 dams are not working. Do you understand why? And they did understand why. The contractor was delaying completion because they were trying to get more money. And the citizen didn't know that they could bang on the door of the contractor within, I think it was 6 weeks. It went from 23% delivery of the project to 98% delivery of the project. There was no additional money required. Sorry, I should show you more slides. We've got many examples like that. No new money, massive impact on delivery. So if we could develop a delivery system culture, a culture of delivery to unblock and deliver the projects of government, it will improve the trust in national and devolved government. So on the other side, we have plans, we implement, we deliver the benefit is the basic idea on this, the right-hand side. And we build trust, we listen better to citizens, and we give better service delivery, we build trust. That's the basic idea, the proven idea of a national delivery system. Okay, strengthen. I probably said all of this. Shall I move on?
Yes.
So what this means is our budget of national government can deliver disproportionately more results. I'll give you another example. Kisumu County, on the banks of Lake Victoria, so connected to RDC, they found that they thought they should be getting more revenues from taxes, from local taxes. The World Bank would call it own source revenues. And so they created a project to test where they could collect revenues. For no additional spending, just some clever design, they've doubled own source revenue from $10 million a year to 20 million. No new money. And I could go example after example. So if we have a plan, a national plan and local plans for RDC, I'm completely confident that our Kenya colleagues, I think they all speak Swahili, they don't speak French, but there is a common language. Our Kenya colleagues could show, and we can translate the materials to teach functionary officials in RDC to use the delivery unit approach to make sure that political objectives and promises to citizens are delivered. So this platform, the National Delivery System, gives us, part of it is a national integrated M&E system. This is something that the World Bank is likely to be interested to fund, but will respect RDC for having one. The best example in Kenya, when we were working there a few years ago, we did research, and they have an annual progress report. It's a badge of honor to say we have an annual progress report, and we have quarterly progress reports. But in Kenya, that was taking 17 months. So it was way out of date. And in all our work, in all the places in North, South, East, and West Africa, the best example we've ever seen was Ghana. And so we've automated the Ghana process. So imagine that every town and every, do we have les provinces? Do we have provinces in RDC? What is on subnational level? Like the way
they have a governor, I think. They have a governor in RDC.
Yeah. So what is the
we
governor?
have provinces, yes.
Provinces.
Provinces, yeah.
So what we're saying is that each province could be collecting, in Ghana, it's about 100 performance indicators, KPIs, number of cattle, tons of maize, amount of sorghum, amount of coconut, all their crops, all their information collected at the local level, and input into our system. The KPIs, indicators, the projects, and photos to report on the status of the projects and indicators. Now, our system allows the functionaire at the province level or below at the town or city level to enter that data, and in real time, not 17 months, it will automate the aggregation. And in the Prime Minister's office, and in front of the President, in front of Parliament, we have a numeric system that tells us in real time, faster. That's not something you can do in the UK right now. So we can do a digital leapfrog through a numeric leapfrog using this system. So each quarter, you have a finger on the pulse, service delivery. And if we do this, donors will respect us and invest in us. Investors will come to us. If we can do this, when we ask investors to come into our projects and we say, we can give you real-time information on your carbon credits, real-time information on your outputs, real-time information on the road being built, where we have a photograph taken every week to show the reality check and to show that it is taken at the right point. So national M&E system, annual progress reporting system, delivery system to unblock results. And finally, some of those projects are what the World Bank would call public investment management projects. They're the ones that we create. They're the bankable projects we create to move our economy forward. Does this make sense? So much faster. These are like the pillars of modernization that we can achieve in a few years, what has taken countries in Europe hundreds of years to achieve. Does that make sense? I hope so. Just looking. So good summary. The Prime Minister's delivery unit or President's delivery unit improves trust and reputation. Trust of the citizen, trust of the voter, trust of the MPs, trust of the donors, trust of the World Bank, trust of the IMF, trust of investors. For quick wins, if we choose what's really important and use the delivery unit approach, it's amazing. The World Bank were amazed, and I can share you case study examples of this. Rapid impact, and often no new money, just making sure the money we're spending gets the result intended. And I've just talked you through those 6 key questions. Remember, what's important, what's the reality, what's achieved, what's intended, what's the reality, what's the gap, what are you going to do about it? Yeah. Focus, accountability, transparency. Realistic to say within 45 days, we could have something configured. If there's a list, if there's an existing spreadsheet of projects, by the way, I'm not allowed to tell you this story, but when we did digitization of the 11 billion of climate spend for the UK government, collecting that information across 134 countries, we discovered when we went through their spreadsheet, they were making an error. At the time, it was a 2 billion fund, and they were making a 340 million pound. Yeah, it was a 2 billion pound fund, and they were making a 340 million pound a year reporting error against their interest. So they were telling the world, we've invested this. They'd invested 340 million pounds more. We fixed it because we digitized the spreadsheet, and there's never been that problem again. And it's completely real time. Used to take 3 months of a trained statistician. It now is real time. Builds trust in government and lays the foundation for future governments. So some screens. So this is an example. These are from Kenya. These are photos to demonstrate. Oh no, these are Ghana. Photos to demonstrate the development project being implemented, the infographics or digital dashboards to show. I think this is breakdown by sector of the. This is the spend of a province. This would be the breakdown by development dimension. So in Ghana, they have a really good system where they say, here is the objective of Ghana. These are the development dimensions, the major breakdowns of spending. These are the focus areas. And so they have a way of breaking the whole thing down. And I think this pie chart is, this is breakdown by development dimension. This is percentage by development dimension. And this is the percentage by contractor. This one is an example of our projects. So this is the projects for a region of Ghana. And if they're on track, they're green, or if they're done, they're blue. And each of those are reported in a dashboard, and that can be reported at every level. And then the statistics are turned into a dashboard or can be seen digitally, and that can be exported. And we can view that data in different ways. This does not need new programming. New programming means long delays, probable errors, and may never work. The countries we've worked in, including the UK, are littered with failed projects because they thought they could make up a solution. Our solution has developed as a digital platform over the last 20 years. So it works. Year after year, it gets better and better and stronger and stronger. And when you take our platform, you get the best ideas from devolution in Kenya, the best annual progress reporting from Ghana, the best climate and carbon credit reporting from UK and South America. Mobile app, what country am I? Oh, am I in Libya? I'm in Libya. Okay, so sorry, I was thinking that's not Kenya. So these are the provinces, and on the mobile app we can see projects, just like the web. We can see projects. We can view the details of particular projects. We can look at status updates, which are the photographs, the functionary responsible for building that bridge, and the contractor building that bridge. They should take a photo, or the contractor should take a photo and say, on this date, we took this photo, and it shows that now there are 3 pillars on the bridge, and we earned our payment. And for any project, we can see where it's located. And we can also see there's normally a principal location and there's an activity area. So if we were building 10 dams or 7 dams, there might be a principal focus. There will be a principal focus of the project. And then each dam will have a location. We can click on that on the map and see the focus of that dam and see the status of that. This one's related to an airport project. And you can see it showing the status of the airport. Just a bit of experience, guys. I've given you this example, $11.2 billion of climate spend across 130, reporting in real time across 134 countries. We developed the delivery unit approach with World Bank based on, one of my good friends was on Tony Blair's staff when we implemented devolution here. And we looked at how Tony Blair's office did it, and we translated that for an African context and made it really simple and clear. And the results are very clear. It really has worked. $1 million for $1 million of spend, about $15 million of return. And I would expect that you can expect, unless your projects are all delivering 100% all of the time on time, a delivery unit is a game changer. Enables Prime Minister's investment funds local mayors to deliver quick wins. It makes government accountable and transparent, and to deliver results which builds trust in government. I just want to point out investment funds. So this can work for private sector. It can work for a fund developed for carbon offsets or carbon credits. It can work to bring to donors so donors know they can trust us. In Libya, we built an aid management information system that helped all the donors to see how their impact on Libya was going. Now the national delivery system does all of those things. It can report to donors, it can report to the World Bank, it can report to the IMF, it can report to the etc. I think that's it. Mustafa, any questions, any comments? I hope you've been very good listeners and I've done a lot of talk.
Yeah, sure. It's very clear for me. I don't know if the others, especially maybe His Excellency Mr. Dominic has question or his staff.
Thank you very much, Mr. Morel, for this very interesting presentation. So I think I understand more or less all you have explained. I will ask my colleague to maybe to ask some questions if there are, but if it's okay for you, I will continue in French. In fact, okay. So
Bien sûr. Tu peux écouter,
maybe more clear, because I guess that maybe it's not easy for you to speak in French, but I guess you can understand.
Bien sûr, j'espère.
Ok, parfait. Donc, alors, merci beaucoup déjà de l'intérêt que vous portez pour la République démocratique du Congo et puis surtout sur le secteur dont nous nous occupons au niveau de la présidence de la République, parce que nous sommes au niveau de la présidence de la République, l'Agence pour le développement du numérique. Donc, nous sommes en charge évidemment de tout ce qui concerne notamment la mise en œuvre du plan national du numérique qui est faite par le gouvernement, mais dont nous faisons le suivi et l'évaluation. Et nous accompagnons aussi lorsque nous identifions des projets ou des partenaires capables d'aider le gouvernement à relever le défi de la transformation digitale de notre pays. Donc, moi, je retiens deux choses dans votre présentation. C'est qu'évidemment, c'est un projet structurel et structurant. Et donc, ça, c'est un élément fort important. Et le deuxième aspect est lié à tout ce qui concerne les crédits carbone. Et là aussi, évidemment, notre pays est résolument tourné vers ces questions donc environnementales. Et bien sûr, c'est la nouvelle économie du climat. Et donc, que ce soit le digital ou ces questions environnementales, eh bien, ce sont deux priorités du gouvernement. Donc, je pense qu'il sera possible de bâtir un projet qui s'articulerait autour de ces deux enjeux. Alors au niveau de
les deux sont numériques et climat.
Oui, absolument. Parce que c'est ce que j'ai noté, qu'il y avait à un moment donné une passerelle entre les deux par rapport notamment à ce que vous expliquiez sur au niveau de la plateforme pour capitaliser sur effectivement une de nos richesses que constitue la forêt et sur évidemment ces crédits carbone que nous n'arrivons pas jusque-là effectivement à exploiter de manière optimale. Et donc ça, évidemment, ce sont des choses pour lesquelles nous ne pouvons qu'être intéressés pour pouvoir évidemment demain mieux profiter de ce potentiel que nous avons. Alors, sur l'écosystème identitaire, carte d'identité, passeport, permis de conduire, tout ce qui concerne la biométrie, il y a donc un certain nombre de projets qui sont dans le pipe et certains donc qui quand même sont à un certain niveau d'avancement. Moi, je pense que ici, il faudra vraiment bien regarder de manière, avec une approche de complémentarité, voir quelles sont les briques que nous pouvons, de votre projet, que nous pouvons insérer dans ce qui a été décidé par le gouvernement. Parce qu'on ne part pas d'une page blanche. Si c'était il y a 5 ans, on était évidemment un peu moins avancé. Mais aujourd'hui, il y a des contrats qui ont été signés, il y a des projets qui vont se mettre en œuvre. Mais dans tout ce que j'ai vu et entendu, il y a manifestement des choses que nous pourrions onboarder dans un projet global ou inversement, d'ailleurs, ou inversement. Partir de ce projet pour finalement insérer ce qui a déjà été conclu par le gouvernement. Donc, je pense qu'il faudra regarder un peu plus dans le détail et faire sans doute une autre réunion pour aller plus en profondeur et voir exactement ce qu'il est possible de faire. Ce qu'il faut noter, c'est que fondamentalement, voilà, le Congo est dans une situation budgétaire particulière, assez tendue, parce que nous avons dû financer les élections sur fonds propres, les élections qui auront lieu le mois prochain, et parce que nous faisons face à une agression de la part du Rwanda qui, à travers un groupe terroriste qui s'appelle M23, et donc ça engloutit malheureusement beaucoup de moyens financiers, et donc la situation est assez difficile. Le chef de l'État, le 3 septembre 2019, lorsqu'il avait fait son grand discours sur le digital, lorsqu'il a lancé le plan national du numérique, il avait dit que l'État congolais ne financerait pas toute la transformation digitale. Une partie, il ferait sa part, bien évidemment, mais qu'il sollicitait évidemment les bailleurs de fonds, c'est-à-dire la Banque mondiale, les partenaires techniques et financiers, Banque mondiale, Banque africaine de développement, l'Union européenne et tous les partenaires bilatéraux, donc UK, USAID et l'AFD, etc. Mais également, évidemment, le secteur privé dans le cadre de partenariats public-privé. Pourquoi je dis cela? Parce que, évidemment, un tel projet, il faudrait être certain qu'il y a un modèle économique et qu'il y a du financement derrière. Parce que l'État congolais, ce qu'il peut faire, c'est aller voir jusqu'où il peut aller en termes de garantie, tout en sachant que aujourd'hui les garanties souveraines pures ne sont pas utilisées parce que nous sommes dans un programme avec la Banque mondiale. Et donc, mais il y a d'autres mécanismes qu'on peut mettre en place. Mais pour le reste, il faut vous assurer évidemment que ce projet que vous nous proposez puisse être financé et ait un modèle économique tenable, hein, donc qui puisse évidemment autofinancer et porter l'amortissement et le remboursement du projet. Donc ça, je tiens vraiment à le préciser en termes de préalable, parce que bon, je sais qu'il y a certains pays, même en Afrique, qui sont capables de financer un certain nombre de projets sur fonds propres. Ce n'est pas le cas de la RLC pour des projets de cette ampleur, de cette ambition. Et donc là, il faut que les choses soient bien claires. Et si cette condition est réunie, si vous avez ces capacités financières ou en tout cas ce modèle économique, eh bien, sur base de ce que j'ai compris, de ce qui est proposé, et évidemment, je note que c'est vraiment, comme je l'ai dit, une approche très structurante au niveau notamment de la gestion des projets, de la plateforme, et d'une plateforme au niveau du gouvernement, avec le delivery unit, etc. Je pense que ça, ce sont des choses que nous pourrions, sur lesquelles on peut travailler assez rapidement pour définir les contours de ce qui pourrait être ce projet, de l'articulation d'un tel projet avec les autres projets qui sont dans le pipe, notamment le projet de la carte d'identité biométrique qui va être lancé le mois prochain. Donc voilà, mais ça va être lancé et nous avons veillé à ce que ce projet soit interopérable, soit avec un système ouvert, un système qui peut interagir avec d'autres plateformes et d'autres systèmes que nous allons mettre en place. Nous avons insisté là-dessus et c'est ce qui va être mis en place. Et donc, on peut très bien envisager ce projet sans mettre en œuvre la boucle, la brique comment dirais-je, du projet de carte d'identité, mais tout en bénéficiant du numéro unique qui va être mis en place, du numéro unique, de la biométrie qui va être mis en place pour évidemment articuler le projet autour de cela. Donc, voilà un peu ce que je pouvais dire sur, en première réaction par rapport à votre présentation. Nous sommes très intéressés d'aller plus loin et d'étudier la question avec nos équipes avant d'impliquer les équipes du gouvernement avec les ministères que nous allons juger les plus pertinents sur base je dirais, du contenu du projet qu'on pourrait donc construire ensemble. Voilà ce que je pouvais dire, Monsieur Morel. Je ne sais pas si Monsieur Kizito, Madame Iris ou Monsieur Louvefou, si vous avez des questions ou une réaction par rapport à cette présentation.
That was, may I comment?
Je vous en prie,
Allez-y, Morel.
allez-y.
Répondez à son Excellence, Monsieur Dominique, et puis on passera la parole à ses collègues, si vous permettez.
Oui, bien sûr. D'accord.
Allez-y, c'est à vous, Monsieur Morel. Répondez à son Excellence d'abord.
D'accord. So it's very clear. What I understand is that we are not starting from scratch with the digitization of the ID. It's a project in progress. So fantastic. The whole way our system works, it's an integrator. The neobanking is an integrator. So if we wish to, shall I admit Tommy T? Pardon? There's somebody called Tommy T who is asking to join.
No, go ahead. It's okay.
Don't admit them. D'accord. So the first thing is the neobanking can sit on top of existing conventional banks, existing payment systems, and integrate between them and provide the glue. So if you have a map of all the things we want to do with digital ID and e-government, if you've got pieces, it's designed exactly around that idea. And where possible, we can bring the Indian experience to, it's like if we have some bricks and we want to build a new wall on it, sometimes we have to put cement, and sometimes it's fine, we put new bricks and we can continue. So if you can give us a status of the current digital ID project, what is in place and what is not, in French is fine, particularly diagrams saying, here's a checklist of tout que nous avons maintenant, of everything we have, and here's a list of all the things we want to achieve. We can come to a proposal as to how we will fill the gaps, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you admit Mr. Tommy, please?
Oh,
because he's waiting.
I thought you was sorry, of course. So I'll say pardon to Monsieur Tommy.
Thank you. He's our expert for all the ID matter.
Mr. Tommy.
Great.
Okay.
Je m'excuse, Monsieur Tommy, that I didn't admit you sooner. Pardon. So what we're saying is we have an existing project of ID ready to do all the identification documents, payments, everything else. And the pieces we have already, perfect. We build on top of them. They're interoperable. And we create... Ali? Oh, sorry.
This is good. This is excellent. This is exactly what I was expecting.
So that's the way we think too, because you work in different countries, you never throw away what's good. It's hard to get things working. If anything works, you build on it. So that's the way I suggest we proceed with that. If you can show us a map of everything you want and not what you've already got, and then the techie guys will want to know what's the API, what's the means of integration. In terms of World Bank, IMF, I'm an optimist by nature, and I'm ambitious technically, and I'm an inventor, by the way. I've got several patents in my name spanning back 20 years. So I'm technically competent. And what I notice is that in the development, so we had an interesting experience recently. We lived through Ghana calling in the IMF to bail them out. So that's an interesting experience. What we can do as RDC is in the same way, we've got some things that work. We've got Les Provinces, we've got maybe some indicators, we've got some projects. You talk about mise en œuvre des projets de numérique. So one thing we could do ourselves in your department is we could take the plan numérique and actually digitize that to say, look, we can do this. We understand digital support for service delivery, for project implementation. And as soon as we've trained some local people, yeah, anything like my experience in Kenya, Ghana, South Africa, we have really smart people who are just waiting. They've come out of university. They can't wait to do good stuff. They'd like to do something useful. So we can, in Kenya, we were able to train the local officials to deliver far more. In fact, to save 90%, this is Kenya number, 90% reduction in the effort to do monitoring and evaluation. So just by implementing this, we freed up time for our best minds and statisticians just by implementing the system. So we can use the app for our own plan numérique and the mise en œuvre. The other thing is, just like we have a big vision for numérique and e-government, there is a big vision. If we sit with World Bank and say, we want to know what would take us from where we are now to the top tier of digital M&E, performance management, delivery, accountability, results-based management, national M&E system, APR, what would take us to the top tier? Because that's where we want to do. We know for e-government we're here and we want to be here. So I would be so grateful and excited to work on this with you, to say to the World Bank, we're a great country. We've got huge resources. We're having our borders violated. We want to get our puissance. We want to get our power together. And so that when you look at us as a country, you say, these guys have got their act together because they've combined digital with governance. We ask them that question and we say, so tell us what it would look like in 5 or 10 years' time. What would be the functional components that we would have? APR, National M&E System Delivery Unit, public investment management projects. You tell us now, help us to understand the journey that you as World Bank would wish we follow to get there. Which parts of that journey, if we demonstrate, give us a chance. If we demonstrate, you tell us what's the first thing to do, and we'll do it. You give us a chance, and if we do what we say we'll do, then you will release more funds to us. And funds love a country that really turns itself around. The World Bank would love us as a case study. DRC is a super important country to Africa, super important country to climate change, super important. I just completed a proposal to provide a M&E system for reporting the Kenya part of the Lake Victoria economic and trade development from the Kenya side. But it's always there that we're connected. We're all, DRC and Kenya are connected across Lake Victoria. So we're a really important country and we can start to trade across our great lake gateway. So anyway, I'm sorry. My point is, if Dominique, we engage with World Bank and even IMF, and we say, what would you like to see us, where should we get to, and what would you like us to do? Give us, pole, give us a little bit of funding now. We'll surprise you. GaiaSoft would love to be your partner in surprising the World Bank. We can show them the results that we've had in Kenya. We can show them the work we've done with UN agency. I think that's...
Thank you very much, Mr. Morel. About the World Bank, I give you an important information. We are right now in discussion with them. In fact, the government, but we are part of the discussion about financing of 400 million US dollar. So, and when I had the meeting with them, I told them, okay, they will work on all the 4 pillars of the National Digital Plan, Horizon 2025, which are digital infrastructure, the local content, the digital uses, and the governance and the regulation. But I tell them that 400 million US dollars is a huge amount, and we must use it in the best and the smartest way possible to ensure that we will have impact, because we cannot spend so much money and don't have the impact. So I'm very glad to hear you when you say that that you want to be part of it, and you can put on the table some good ideas, some good approach in order to make sure that we have this impact for the population and for the country. So obviously it's a conversation that we will see how to maybe to connect you, but the most important is the vision and the way we think we should move forward for our country. Until now, we're desperately looking for to have the digital to make the digital really impact our economy and all the sector, all the critical sector, education, health, justice, and so on. So this is why I'm very happy to listen to your target, and because it seems that it's exactly what you want to do, and what it seems that you are able to do.
Thank you so much.
Moral, before that, if you may, please.
Please.
You mentioned to me last time that there may be a way to fund this work from UK export guarantee or from forest carbon credits.
That was the third point on my. If you can explain to us, just get us a status update on where the world knows that RDC has one of the great lungs of the planet. So South America, the Amazon, the Congo rainforest, and Indonesia, very, very, very important to climate change. So as an environmentalist, it's important that DRC starts tapping into carbon credits and paying the people who live in the forest to protect them and rebuild them. There is money in that. So if I could understand the policy and the objectives, that's the kind of place that if we took what we're learning in India and we're learning in South America, I have to say, my heart is in Africa. When I first came to South Africa in 1998, I stopped working in the big global corporates because Africa is the future. My daughter is African. I have an African family. I would feel so privileged to work with you. I would absolutely love it. We'll find a way together, Dominique. We'll find a way together.
And also you mentioned, Moral, that I believe you met the RDC Prime Minister last year.
RDC, yes. There was a meeting in London. I can't remember what it was. I just shook his hand. That was all. I think Robert, do you know Robert Parjac? But I have a colleague who's from DRC, the smaller Congo, yeah, the sister country, and he invited me to an event, and I did meet him very briefly. He wouldn't remember me, but I remember him.
Okay. Excellency, Mr. Dominic, another question, or can we
No,
go forward?
so I think Mrs. Esther, I think that we should plan another meeting
Yes.
in order to go deeper
Yeah.
on this topic and to figure out what is the best way to move forward.
Great. Good.
Yes.
I have part of my team here, but I understand that some of them is not there. So we have all the people really concerned about this topic and this project, and we'll work on it. I must also say to Mr. Morel and to all of you that at the presidency we have another agency. We have two agencies, in fact, who are in charge of all the environment, new economy, you know. So maybe we will put them, we'll ask them to join us to talk about this aspect. And for you to understand how we work at the presidency level. We work on some project, and when the project is considered as useful, really useful for the country, for the government, we send it to the government with the push of the head of states, if obviously we consider that the project is really a good project for our country. Yes. So this is how we work. So we will work on the presidency level, and then we will go to the government for the implementation and the contract, and if there are contracts and so on and so forth. So this is how we are going to work. So now we need to continue the work with a second meeting in order to try to find the best way to move forward.
That's fantastic. If there is a group responsible, like who is responsible for le plan national, and how do they report the status of the plan national? Because that's the kind of thing that the World Bank would care about. And we could either pilot using our plan numérique, or we could use funding for the plan national to also fund our plan numérique. I just want to, as an engineer and consultant, what I see is we've got three areas in the rows. We've got ID, we've got a national système livraison national, and we've got climate. And for each of those, there's a question: where are we now? Because we're not building on we're not building from nothing. We've got something. What is our vision of where are we now? Where do we want to be, and who can help? So that's the matrix that I suggest for our next meeting. For each of those areas of ID, of delivery system, and of climate, we want to know, where are we now? Where is our vision to be, and who can help? For example, if we do that for M&E, Plan National implementation, reporting with the World Bank, I have a feeling they're going to want to help us. And if we deliver anything like listening to Dominique, we have a fantastic opportunity. We've got great Kenyan colleagues. They're amazing. We've got great African colleagues, young, brilliant Africans like your colleagues. We'll do magic. So, merci très, très bien. Je suis très heureux de vous rencontrer, tout ça. Très, très gratitude. How do I say gratitude? I'm very grateful. Comment ça se dit?
Je suis très reconnaissant.
Reconnaissant.
Je suis très reconnaissant.
Je suis très reconnaissant.
Reconnaissant. Grateful. Si vous permettez, donc, madame, je vous ai envoyé pas mal de documents de présentation qui m'ont été envoyés par monsieur Morel. Je pense, dans un premier temps, il serait très intéressant de les partager avec Dominique et son équipe en attendant le prochain meeting. Comme ça, ils sauront au moins de quoi on a parlé déjà. Et puis, ça sera pour une base de travail déjà pour préparer le prochain meeting.
D'accord. Donc, je transmettrai les documents.
Très bien.
Voilà,
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Morel. Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Mustapha. Madame
je vous en prie.
Esther, on a du travail devant nous. Donc,
Oui.
à vous de faire l'intermédiation et la liaison. Je ne sais pas si Monsieur Toumba, Monsieur Louvefou, Madame Iris ou Monsieur Kisdo ont quelque chose à dire, parce que finalement, il était question que vous puissiez vous exprimer. Peut-être une remarque, un commentaire, une question.
Non, pas de questions pour ma part.
Ça va.
C'est clair.
Très bien. De toute façon, nous allons digérer tout ça. Est-ce qu'il est possible de nous partager la présentation de Monsieur Morel pour que nous puissions la digérer en interne et qu'on soit déjà mieux préparé pour la prochaine réunion?
Il y a aussi des documents, pas mal de documents que madame va partager avec vous aussi. Hein.
Ah,
On a
ok,
déjà
super.
transmis, ça fait déjà une semaine.
Super. Parce que, en fait, voilà, il faut être honnête, le concept est assez dense, ça a été fait en anglais. Donc, il faut vraiment qu'on puisse bien comprendre. Mais l'essence, moi, enfin, ce que j'ai compris, c'est que manifestement, il est possible de donner des outils au gouvernement pour améliorer la gouvernance, pour améliorer l'efficience, notamment dans la mise en œuvre de projets, les tableaux de bord, etc. Et ça, c'est vraiment ce qui nous manque. Et ce sont des choses qui, je pense, ont toute leur pertinence et leur utilité. Donc, et je pense que c'est ça qu'on va essayer de faire, c'est de mieux comprendre. Et alors, M. Tommy est là, qui est l'expert pour la carte d'identité, qui a suivi très bien le projet. Donc, ce projet est dans le pipe. Alors, il est vraiment à son début. Hein. Vous avez dit tout à l'heure que, bon, où est-ce qu'on est? On n'est pas très loin. Mais c'est vrai, c'est qu'on a pu à le concevoir. Il va être mis en œuvre par une grande entreprise mondialement reconnue, avec justement des standards et qui pourra générer des API pour pouvoir interagir avec toute plateforme qui va travailler en se reposant sur la base de données des citoyens. Donc, il n'y aura pas de difficulté à ce niveau-là.
Dans tous les cas de figure, Excellence, si vous le permettez, tous les documents qui ont été transmis déjà concernant les deux projets sont en anglais et en français.
Magnifique.
Que madame va partager avec vous. Voilà.
Magnifique. Magnifique.
Donc,
Je
si
vous en prie.
Monsieur Mustapha m'a envoyé la présentation des Morel et j'envoie tout une fois.
Parfait.
Voilà, c'est à vous de clôturer, madame.
Oui, donc pour la prochaine réunion, donc on va encore faire donc la même chose. Je vais voir avec son Excellence la disponibilité et on planifie une prochaine réunion. Je ne sais pas, son Excellence, quel est le bon timing parce que je pense qu'il ne faut pas attendre trop longtemps.
On va revenir vers vous. Hein. On va revenir vers vous pour programmer. Donc, on va se concerter et on va essayer ça le plus vite possible. D'accord?
D'accord, ça va. Merci.
Voilà,
Merci
je pense que c'est déjà pas mal pour une première fois. Je vous remercie beaucoup. Monsieur Morel, encore une autre fois, il se considère intrinsèquement africain. Il est marié à une Africaine, son enfant est africaine à 100%. Et moi, personnellement, ça fait plus de 10 ans que je travaille sur l'Afrique. Donc, et puis, je suis africain de par déjà mon pays. Ça a été déjà un premier contact très fructueux, très intéressant. J'espère qu'on va avancer très, très vite. Et tout le plaisir est pour nous pour aider un tant soit peu la RDC pour progresser dans ce domaine. Merci beaucoup, merci à tous.
Merci à tous et à
Merci, au revoir, bonne journée.
oui, merci Mustapha, si
Au
vous pouvez me
revoir.
rappeler.
Bonne journée.
Ok, appelez-moi après, il n'y a pas de problème.
D'accord, ça va.
On va coordonner ensemble. Merci beaucoup. Au
Merci.
revoir, merci.
Merci, au revoir.
Au revoir, au revoir.
Au revoir.
C'est très bien.